I'm going to tell you today, why should you write your obituary today? Now, there's a lot that we can learn from death. And you might be thinking, obituary, like, I'm not dead yet. Why would I want to write that? And I believe that answering this question of writing your obituary, it can be one of the most clarifying questions that we can ask in finding our life's definite aim, finding a purpose in life, and why are we here, a reason to live. And getting clear on our obituary could actually be a tool and a means for you to get clarity today to find out what really matters in life and how you can prioritize your time for the rest of this life until that time when your obituary is actually written and spoken. My name is Enoch Leffingwell, and here at the Army of Youth, we are passionate about helping young people to identify their unique talents and to dedicate them to Christ's service. If this is something that interests you, then I encourage you to subscribe and follow us on social so that you can get more messages just like this one. So why should we write our obituary today? First of all, this is a question that is in our account book. It's the Live Your Calling Daily Account Book. We have a worksheet on here, and this is one of the worksheet questions that is talking about your life vision. This is a book that is designed to help you to gain clarity on the calling that God has for you and why you're here and how to live a life of fulfillment and purpose and meaning and really to succeed in the life calling that God has given you. Part of that is getting clear on what should you be doing today. And I really like this because in Ecclesiastes chapter 9 and verse 10, the Bible says that whatsoever thy hand findeth to do, do it with thy might. For there is no work, no wisdom, no device in the grave whither thou goest. And Solomon, the wisest man that's lived, speaks about how death is a remembrance that when it's all over, it's over. There's nothing more that we'll be able to contribute. So do faithfully, do with your whole heart, give yourself, dedicate wholly to what God has called you to do today. And part of it is to, I believe, get very clear on that. And we have a question on here that when I answer this, it helped me tremendously. It said, how would you write your own obituary to be read to your friends and your family at your funeral? Exactly as you would like to be remembered. And it quotes Ecclesiastes 9:10. Also, Isaiah 46 verse 9 and 10 gives this principle as well, that God declares the end from the beginning. And just as God declares the end from the beginning, I believe we would do very well to begin with the end in mind. And if we start our life today, if we start our day today with the end in mind, and we're very clear on that end result that we would like to ultimately be accomplished, if we could imagine that you were standing at the end of your life and you're looking back and you're seeing, and people are describing who you were and what you did or what you accomplished or what you experienced, who you reached, the impact that you had, whatever that it looks like. Imagine at the end of your life, what would you want people to say about you? What would you like the results of your life to be the culmination of? That would matter, that would inspire you, that would drive you, that would give you clarity and purpose today. So that if you begin with that end in mind, then you could work with intention. You can show up with purpose and meaning, and a lot of decisions that now seem very confusing, you can ask like, well, does that actually fit with who I believe God is calling me to be? Does that fit with who I want to be in Christ? And if it doesn't, then a lot of the decisions that we struggle with could disappear like that. And we could start making decisions in harmony with the destination that we want to go. Another analogy is if your life is like a journey and traveling in a vehicle where if you may have a vehicle and we might be driving, but if we have no direction or destination, or if we're not sure where we're going, where we're ending up, then we're just going for a joyride. We're aimless. And at the Army of Youth, we recognize that an aimless life is a living death. So we are going to war against young people living aimless lives because we believe that God has a plan and a purpose for you. And we want to help all. We see a world where every young person knows their true purpose and leads meaningful lives in the Lord's service. And part of that is to understand, what would you like people to say about you in your funeral, in your death? And that doesn't mean that you're writing a note and then people are going to read this note. This is more of just like, if you live the life that was worth living, if you were the person that you believe God called you to be, what would that person look like? And describe that life experience and what that would be like. And then it gives you a lot of clarity and meaning and understanding to what really matters. Because when we're faced with death, I mean, we make different decisions. And so this could be extremely helpful for people. Now, I'll give you an example. I did this honestly. I did this same exercise, this worksheet that is here on the life vision, life's definite aim. I've actually done this several times. This is a worksheet you can go through. I mean, every maybe 3 months, every quarter, it's a good time to review your life vision, and review and see why are you here, what matters, and see what things have been adjusted. Not necessarily discarded, but more of like revised, or you get more clarity over and over. A lot of people, they obsess and overthink it. Don't do that. It's not like life or death, whether how you word it so particularly and perfectly. It's not a matter of that. It's just any type of clarity on your life vision could help you to have a greater reason to live, a reason to wake up in the morning, a reason to show fully and put your hands and do well the things that you do. Be faithful in the little things, because you know that there is a definite aim that you're working towards. Because when we're aimless, we're just reacting to life. We're just living and responding to the demands of others and everything else. Life becomes very exhausting, very difficult, very hard. And I know what that's like, to be so aimless and so confused, not knowing where I'm going to go or what I'm going to do. And our life could even be filled with a lot of good things. But if we're not clear on where we are going and the destination that we are traveling to, then it doesn't matter if you have a vehicle. It doesn't matter if you have a map. It's the destination that determines the route and the decisions that you make in life. So this exercise of finding your life's definite aim is one of the things that's going to help you to clarify major life decisions. Is it in harmony with that which you write here? So I'll give you an example. In October 2019, I was currently working in an area that it was a blessing. I was helping people. I was doing well at it in a previous profession, but I realized that I wasn't enjoying it as much, or I didn't feel like this is a thing that God wanted me to do ultimately, or for a longer term, and I didn't really have as much fulfillment as I'd like to. So I went through this experience, and I was trying to get more clarity on my life's definite aim, to understand, what am I called to do? What is my calling? I was doing a lot of soul searching on this. And as I began to write and I began to see what really matters to me, how I should prioritize my time, my focus, my relationships, my learnings, and make a lot more clear decisions, this one really spoke to me. Because as I wrote out what I would want by the end of my life people to say about me, it really helped me to realize what really mattered to me. So I'm going to share with you what I said in October 2019, and this was really helpful to me. And I don't usually share this. I've only shared this one other time with a group of our leaders, and but I'm going to be vulnerable here with you, and I'm going to share with you the thing that really resonates to me. This is about my life, to give you an example of what yours may look like. So it says, Enoch was there for me when I was going through the hardest time in my life. I was aimless and without guidance, and he encouraged me to dedicate my life to the service of Christ. He encouraged me to step out of my comfort zone and achieve things I never thought possible. Every area of my life has been affected by God through his teachings. I had a greater understanding of the Bible and how to find direction from God because of the tools that he equipped me with understanding. And that to me speaks volumes. yours may be totally different. Maybe we're different. But for me, I realize like I want to be there. What really matters to me is when people are going through life altering decisions, I know one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life is choosing to dedicate my life to Christ's service. It wasn't even giving my heart to Christ. I've given my heart to Christ several times in my life, but it wasn't until I made the decision to dedicate my life to his service and to give myself to the service of Christ, that is when everything changed. When I decided to work for God, I found my purpose in life. I didn't fully understand how that would look like at the time, but I knew that I'm going to commit to his service, whatever that looked like. And it was the best decision I ever made. And I want to help as many young people make that decision as possible. And I know when people are on a fork in the road, when people are going through really tough times, really difficult times, that to be a voice, to be a mentor, to be a coach, a friend, a guide, a helper, an older brother, to be able to help someone who's going through and navigating life. And I know for so long, I long to have a mentor. I long to have some guidance and direction and understanding. I didn't really get a lot of that when I was younger. So I want to be the mentor I wish I had when I was in other people's situation. And that means a lot to me. So I find that even going through this obituary exercise and seeing this, it helped me to realize, whoa, there are, when I see that people are going through balances and they have to make a big decision, it's like, I'm going to prioritize my time. I'm going to show up when I'm mentoring someone and they need help. Like, I'm going to be there. I want to make myself available, reorganize my schedule somehow so that I can show up for the people. I can't do it for everyone, but I'm willing to do for one what I wish I could do for all. And this has really clarified me as far as my time goes and what I would do differently. And beginning with this end helps to realize what changes would need to be made today in order for me to make that. It helps me to see what are the things I should study, what are the things I should talk about that I could share that will help to contribute and move towards that direction. So I want to share too one last question. It's also in here. Question number 10 in this Life Step for Today is, it asks, if you only had 6 months to live, what would you do? Who would you be with? How would you spend your time? James chapter 4 and verse 14, the Bible says, whereas ye know not what shall be on the morrow, for what is your life? It is even a vapor, that appeareth for a little time and then vanisheth away. Tomorrow is never promised, friends. You know how many people woke up today or did not wake up today in an unexpected way? Life is so precious. We often take for granted. And how you answer this is profound, because if you really knew that you only had 6 months to live, what would you be differently? What would you be doing differently? Would you be working in the job that you're doing? What message would you have a burden to share with other people? Who would you want to spend time with? Who would you want to communicate that you love, you appreciate, you care for them? I've been to enough funerals to realize people wait until it's ever too late to express the care and the appreciation and the love that they had for that person to ears that can never hear again in this life. And I have gone to enough funerals to realize I refuse to wait until people's funerals to say the things that I appreciate about them. I am committed. I have decided that I'm going to let people know that who matter to me, that they matter and that I care and that I appreciate them in my life. And I appreciate you. That's why I'm recording this here today. That's why I'm speaking to you as a friend, as a brother, because this is something that has brought a lot of clarity in my experience. And several students that I've helped coach through this program, they've been able to find more of their calling, more of purpose and understanding. And so my encouragement to you is to write your obituary today. And as you do this, it will give you more clarity than you really realize, I believe, on what your calling is and how you can make decisions today. It could be however long or short as you would like. And if you're interested in getting a copy of the Live Your Calling Daily Account Book, this is just 2 questions out of this Life Step for Today worksheet that I was showing you before. And at the beginning of this book, it goes through what is your calling. It's getting clarity on your purpose, your calling, why you're here. And these exercises are there to kind of extract and discover your life's talents, your life's calling, your life work. And then the rest of the portion of the account book is the daily frameworks to be able to help you to focus, to keep account of your time, your relationships, the things you're learning, to keep account of the time you spent with God, and to be focused. It's like a planner. It's an account book that helps you to stay focused on living that calling. This is why we call it Live Your Calling Daily Account Book. Helps you identify your calling and to live it. If you want to have more certainty on what is your life's definite aim, I encourage you to grab a copy of the Live Your Calling Daily Account Book today. All you have to do is go to the website, thearmyofyouth.com/account book, and you can grab your copy today. That's again, thearmyofyouth.com/account book, and you can grab yours today. I look forward to getting this to you in the mail. And thank you so much for watching. If you thought this video was helpful, it gave you some new ideas, new perspective to consider, I encourage you to share this with someone else. Who do you know that could find more clarity and encouragement? And just let them know, say, hey, I found this to be helpful and I want to share it with you because maybe you'd find it to be helpful too. Thank you so much for watching, friends. And remember that God doesn't call the qualified, He qualifies the called.